Once in a while, I like to change things up. This is Game Changer, a chance for me to take a look at your save and give you some insights if I were to be managing the same club. And I've got Bristol City, and they're in the Premiership. And this time around, this Game Changer episode is going to be very different. My name is Daljit. Welcome to Busternet. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification button to stay in touch for more videos like this. We have a save that comes from Ten Wolf. He's managing Bristol City, first season in the Premiership, doing pretty well. But look, check this out, goal difference of 4. That's not a good thing, especially if in the top 6. You definitely want to try your best, try and concede as few goals as possible. Now, when I look at his matches, something stands out. Most of his defeats are to top sides. 2-0 to City, 4-1 to Chelsea, 4-0 away to Arsenal, 2-1 away to Leicester City, 2-1 away to Burnley. Okay. Then 1-0 at home to Arsenal again. Then lost 5-0 away to United, 2-0 away at home to Arsenal, and 2-0 away to Chelsea. Now, these are all big defeats, right, for me. Let's take a look at the United defeat. He used a 4-2-2 DM and basically just got obliterated off the park by a team that was attacking them. Against Chelsea, they conceded a few goals. They were playing a 4. Look at how attacking his 4-2-3-1 is, right? So he leaves a lot of gaps. The Chelsea system was playing on a positive mentality. It's also very attacking. Jorginho scoring first with a penalty, and then they go wide. Hudson-Odoi puts into the box. They score a second goal through Mason Mount. Then the third goal, again, too much space being vacated, right, by the wing backs on either side. Look at the gaps that have appeared. Then they go attacking. The inside forwards are trying to track back, but they're just too far away, and they concede the 4th. So I went to look at most of these matches, and most of these matches have a common denominator, right? Here again, watching the goals, doesn't matter how many clear-cut chances you create or how many clear-cut chances the opposition create. What's more important is what kind of space have you been giving up? Like down the flanks, look at the pressing. 3 players going for the 1 player again, leaving, you got these guys just going like backs, right? And they just try to close players down. Look at this, what happens here. Everyone is pressing and they lose their shape completely. There's no discipline. They step out their lines. There's an aggressive press being used, that's for sure. You can pick any number of games and look, and it's going to be a common denominator in all of them. So here we go, watching these goals again. Bristol City, this match perhaps should have been a different result on the day. Okay, let's look at this. The attack, they're pressing, space opens up, boom, goes through. That happened. You saw that as clear as daylight. The guy stepped up, another guy stepped up, the space opened up, and they took advantage of it. He may have scored 1, and now he presses. The guy pressed too early. The offside trap wasn't triggered, but they managed to get a 1 goal back. But still, not convinced, right? I'm not convinced entirely. Looking at the team report, we're looking at the team squad depth. One thing I like about your team is that you've done a really good job of looking for players. Sadas, very nice player, passing, vision, decisions, pretty intelligent. I mean, decisions could be a bit better, but he's not a bad player. He's a very versatile. He can play a lot of positions. They got Chervy on the left, another good talent, likes to get away from players. We've got this striker. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. Niels Froling or Froling. It's definitely not Fro. Then we got Hans Wolf, a very, very talented player. Fantastic off the ball. Will arrive into. He's a very dangerous player, right? Very dangerous player. Then we got 2 midfielders, and we got cover for those players as well. We got Pedro Chirivella, the former Liverpool player. I still kind of am disappointed that Liverpool let him go, but he is naturally an option for you at the back. And then in defense, you got Baker. His jumping range is only 15. You got Carlos. His jumping range is really bad at 11. something that needs to be addressed in this team, because you don't have a lot of players who can deal with crosses. So you can't really be playing a game where you draw teams in and say, okay, fine, take a chance and try and drop one into the box, because if they do, you're gonna struggle. So it means that your defensive set pieces are an issue. Thomas Kalas is actually a very good defender, but he's not very good in the air, but he's pretty good at doing other things. So in the absence of another central defender, you really don't have much of a choice. You have to use Thomas Kalas, and I ended up doing the same thing in my games. Jay Da Silva is a pretty solid wingback. He likes to bomb up and down the pitch. He's got very good off the ball, so he definitely will make himself available for the pass. On the right flank, we have got a few players. We've got Jack Hunt, and we also have got Pedro Pereira and Zach Weiner. Right, they all can play as fullback, so you've got cover. The one area of the game that you probably will need to address is central defender. You probably will have to go out there and find some way of getting in a central defender who's got good jumping reach. I mean, right now you're newly promoted side, so you can't afford very good players. So Zach Weiner isn't too bad. He's got good jumping reach, and so he can play. But this Kalas has been impressive even for me when I was playing it. So he's very good at marking players, that's for sure. It's a strength that he has that is better than Zach Weiner's. So he can mark players, even though he can't jump. He doesn't have very strong jumping reach. He can definitely mark players. I'm not going to look at your scouting, but what I'm going to do next is look at your training. Calendar wise, okay, you've gone with a balanced training schedule. I mean, for me, this is fine. I'm lazy. I like this. This is very simple, right? So what you can do is you can add one more here for match preparation for defensive free kicks, right? So you can do defending free kicks, and that's it. All you got to do is add one more, and you covered all of them. You covered the whole gamut, so you'll be sorted. Okay, now it's time to take a look at the tactic. This is the tactic you've been using, and when I saw this tactic, my first thought was, how the heck have you lasted so long in the Premier League? I mean, it's not. You've done really well. You've done a brilliant job of getting players. But this wingback on attack, with this inside forward attack, with an overlap on the right flank, and you're playing on a lower tempo, so basically you expect to keep the ball. You expect to be able to your boys are expected to have very good composure against pressure, and they're able to keep the ball. Now, composure for some of the midfielders is pretty impressive, right? You've done really well in getting players. Both Herbie Kane and Han Noah Masengo are good players, right? They're not the world's best, but they are good. This duo is not that bad. But when you go further up the pitch, you were expecting all these players to do something with the ball too. And then you got a wing back on attack trying to bomb down the flank. Now my concern is the space that's going to open up as a result of the overlap and the aggression of the wing back. Now don't forget, you're playing a 4-2-3-1. They already got 5 players attacking the opponent's area, or maybe 4. Now you got 4, you want 5 and 6. You want 6 players. I mean, most times we'd be happy if we can get 5 players inside the box, but you're trying to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players inside the box. It's dangerous. Maybe against lower leagues. I mean, maybe not lower league. Maybe against some of the other opposition, like teams that are slightly in the relegation zone, teams that want to sit back and defend and they don't want to come on and attack you. That makes a lot of sense. But if you are playing against a team that is very strong, like a Chelsea or Manchester City, they decide they want to play positive against you and they have attacking wing backs, then while your 2 here might be applying pressure on their back line, what you're really hoping for is that their wingers or their side midfielders start picking yellow cards and get sent off, right? Because if you can't keep the ball during the transition, it's just going to go down the flanks and you're going to be faced with having to defend. And one way of checking this is, like, go to one of your players and see how many yellow cards they've picked up. 10 yellow cards. When I see 10 yellow cards on a defender, that's a heck of a lot out of 25. Every time a defender gets a yellow card, or a fullback gets a yellow card, or a side midfielder gets a yellow card, it's usually a reflection that that guy had to come back and do something somebody else failed to do, like somebody else failed to track, or somebody else failed to cover. So that could be an issue. So for today, what I'm going to do today is very different. I've never done this on any episode of Game Changer. I am going to play with your tactic, because sometimes you need to show people what's happening in the game. So I'm going to play with your tactic, and then I'm going to switch over to mine, which is what I did in the show In the Hot Seat, which is a play where I actually sit down and I play the entire game, and you guys can see exactly what's happening with all the transitions and the changes that I made. What I'm going to show you now is take 1 and take 2 of the same game. I'm going to show you highlights of the match, and I'm going to point out where, what the issues I had with the game. And then I'll show you what happened in the second match where I changed the tactic to something else. We'll get into this game. They're playing a 4-3-3. Let's take a look at their tactic. First up, extremely urgent, very high line, no offside trap, shorter, low tempo, counter press, counter, distributing the centre backs, taking short kicks. All right, so we're going to give a team talk to the boys. I'm going to be assertive. I want you to pick up from where you left off. Only Jack Butland reacted to that. And Ndombele comes inside the box. Zardes tries to clear the danger, gets it to Chervi. Jay Da Silva looks up, plays a crossfield diagonal. Zardes out to Chervi. Look at the space. We have to keep the ball. If we don't keep the ball, this entire area is going to be exploited. Alright, Jada, so look at this. There's no more. They've got three. Now they got three of them here now lined up going. Oh man, this better end up in a shot, or he has to go out of play. Zardes, Pereira. Yeah, we have to. Your team cannot afford to lose the ball. Carlos out to Pereira. He brings the ball forward, goes off. Then Ndombele forced to come back. He still keeps on going and gets into the box. And now they have a counter attack. Your wing back is totally out of position. Bergwijn with the ball finds wings. Dele Alli shoots. Still very lucky. Breakaway. Kane again plays it out of Bergwijn. Can they do better this time? Yeah, they do. They get into the box and they almost get a shot away. So you can see the right flank is very porous at the moment. Sanchez, you can see your wing back tracking back now, and they go through the middle and they score the first goal. The press, they moved up and you got caught as well. It's very unfortunate, but we get out of this. We don't look at this, we look at this. Right, look at the positions they're taken up. Right, goes up and totally, completely, yeah, it's just bad defending. Attacks, Zardes lose the ball again. You got three players waiting to attack the lines. Rose with the ball. They start all the pressing urgency. Everybody's losing their shit. Wings and free. Yeah. There's way too much of that, right? And then when you're not defending corners very well. So first game, I didn't see too much being created by way of chance, right? So again, ball over the top, too easy. That should have been a third, right? Because the wing back is so high up the pitch, everyone's pressing, space opens up, and the counter attacks happen. So this is like, if you've been using this tactic against a lot of the big sides, then your players aren't disciplined enough to deny them space. You are giving them a lot of space easily when you can't afford to lose the ball. If you lose the ball, it's a counter, and they get good counters all the time. For the next match, I wanted to still try and maintain some of the flavor that you have in your tactic, even though there was a voice in my head that said you don't need to play with a wing back on attack in a 4-2-3-1. There is absolutely no need to do that. But I decided to. We have a fullback on support on the left flank with the overlap, and we have a wingback on attack on the right flank, deciding, well, you know, we're gonna go bombing down the flank. And we have a DLP on defense, shadow striker, inside forward. You've got loads of inside forwards. You've got a lot of inside forwards who can play on the left flank, and only 1 or 2 players who can play as inverted wingers on the right flank. So I thought this would be a much more suitable use of your players. Unfortunately for us, the game didn't start out too well, right? I ended up 2 goals behind, which forced me into making a change, right? I had to go into a wing back on defense and a wing back on defense, because don't forget, wing backs on defense also do overlaps. So Pereira plays it to Zardes. Zardes back to Pereira. Pereira tries his best to get rid of the ball. Dele Alli scores. Oh man, that was fast. That was fast. Dele Alli has given them the lead. Bergwijn into the roof of the net, and it's 2. We managed to pull 1 goal back. Jay Dasilva to Hans Wolf. But then the boys have proven that they have something in there. Jay Dasilva, the wingback, goes around, gets it to Herbie Kane. Hans Wolf with a second goal as Bristol City have leveled the match against Spurs. It's 2-2. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of referee is given a foul inside the box. It looks like it's a penalty. Come on, Jack Butland, the master of penalty saves. You can do it against Harry Kane. No, you can't. So, plays it back to the playmaker, who finds Herbie Kane out to Braithwaite. Braithwaite finds Jay Dasilva, who finds it played out to Zardes. Zardes gets inside the box, looks, and it's 3-3. Before I made the changes, we were giving away far too many clear-cut chances. It was just too easy for Spurs to get in behind us. After making the changes, we became a lot more solid in our shape, and we were able to deal with Spurs' 3-man strike force. Against good teams, when you are away from home, wingback on defense is not a bad option. Against other teams, you can afford to play wingback or support, wingback attack when you are at home, and that's exactly what we did against Leicester. We had a wingback on attack with an inverted winger on the right flank, and then what we did on the left flank was we had a wingback on support. It turned out to be the right trick, because against Leicester City, we defended really well, and then we attacked fairly aggressively. So that's pretty much a interesting option. So the same tactic, DLP defense, since you got 3 or 4, I lost count how many inside forwards you have. You have quite a number. Shadow striker pressing forward, inverted winger. Apply the split block on all 3 of them. Give them a closing down more. This guy doesn't need one because he's a pressing forward. Then at the back, no other PIs on any of these players, right? Except for the guy in the middle. You want him to roam from position, right? Give him a roam from position instruction. And that's it for these players. When I was at home, what I did was this. I played wingback on support, wingback on attack against a team I was expected to do well against. So we played really well against Leicester City, and we did exactly this. Against teams that maybe if Man City is coming in, you're a bit wary about playing against them, then yeah, you can definitely play wingback on defense with the overlap, and wingback on defense with the overlap for them. In either case, when you play with a wingback on attack, you don't really need the overlap on the right flank, right? It's already very, very aggressive. So that's one thing you can remove. As far as set pieces are concerned, corners, attacking corners, you want to give yourself some options. Send to the far post, put your 2 best players here. You can leave one lurking outside the area and ask your striker to attack from the edge of the box because he arrives unmarked. Defending, make sure that you set it up in such a way that you have somebody marking the far post, right? This is the most important thing. And I actually played like this with 2 players man marking. I chose players that can man mark, and then I put jumpers inside the box. So all of them can jump, right? So this guy is the most important player. You want to put a good marker and a decent jumper at the far post. Most of the time I put jumping reach. The highest player with the jumping reach, I'll put him here. So in this particular case, it turned out to be Nathan Baker. Alright, but that's not. Then when it came to your free kick, same principle. When I'm doing the deep ones, I have somebody at the far post, and when I'm doing the wide ones, I have somebody at the far post too. And then when it with the throw-ins, simple. We have one more player lurking at the edge of the area, so you have options, right? When you play the short throw-in, they can pass the ball to that player. Otherwise, you got a whole bunch of players inside the box, and if they clear the ball, you only have two players at the halfway line. What if they have three coming in? Which most of the time, when there's a quick breakaway, there'll be three against your two. So what I did was I put one more player back, and I gave you a short option at the edge of the area. So the MCL becomes a short option for your throw-in. So if it goes to the MCR can pass to the MCL. You still keep the ball, and that's what I would recommend you do with the tactic. It's a pretty simple fix to your system. Tenwolf, I think you've done a really good job with your team. I mean, honestly speaking, newly promoted side, you've done well enough to get into the European spots, and I want to see you actually make it into Europe, maybe even to the Champions League. And I think your side is capable of doing it, but you just have to learn how to play away from home. That's all. You've been a bit too aggressive with your tactic. I mean, the double attack duty with the overlap on the right flank really led to too many easy chances away from home. If you want to play with the wing back on attack, that by all means do it on the right flank, but try and make sure that the other player in front of him tracks back. One option is to play him on the support duty, and the other thing that you might want to think about is maybe asking the DLP to be on a defend duty where you want that wing back to go overlapping down the flank, so that whereas the DLP drops deep, he creates the space as well for the wing back to do the overlap, and then the DLP has options. Now don't forget, he has the switch ball to the other flank, which makes it even more interesting. And you've got 3 or 4 inside forwards in your team that love to come in from the left side of the pitch. So yeah, leverage of that, because you've got more players there, so you have a substitution strategy that you can use in the game. When I play with the inside forward on the right side of the pitch, I was struggling because as far as the wingers were concerned, I was thinking I don't have too many options to change the flavor of the game, but here you have. So I hope you enjoyed this additional game changer and you found it useful. If you have any questions, please look out. Well, I hope you found this edition of Game Changer useful. If you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. You can always look at me on Twitter at BusterNet or addicted2fm.com, my website. Once again, I hope you guys stay safe, stay healthy. Please stay in touch. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.